All right. So the first thing I want to say is thank everybody. Well, thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel, the movement, the people in the movement, the community. Thank you to my family. Thank you to my homie Antonio, Erica, Tiffany, DR, Kelvin. The list is my boy Priest. The list is super long of the people that's been supporting me as a person to on this journey. You know what I mean? Because there's one side of it when it's YouTube. Like I never set out to be a YouTuber. That's not who I am. If anybody that knows me know I'm not a YouTuber. That's not why I do this. I'm not looking for fans. That's not why I do this. Right. I do this because I genuinely want to help people. Period. Point blank, leave it at that. And so today we're gonna have a real conversation about IT, progressing through IT, and my boy Antonio, who I love like a brother. Go ahead, bro.
Well, you know, I want to echo those sentiments, man. I'm thankful to, first and foremost, for you allowing me to share anything that I've been able to share over the past year almost on your platform. You know, it's interesting how I found you was trying to help another brother of mine that was looking to get into IT. And what I learned was that people that are closest to you sometimes need to hear advice from somebody else. They can receive it better, no matter how many accolades I have, no matter what I've accomplished. And I found your channel and said, hey, I don't know this brother, but he's legit. Go to his page and watch every video he has. And I don't even remember how we linked after that, but you've been a very important piece of my life to where, like, seriously, you're like family. I mean, you got my mother's phone number. You know what I mean? Like, that's for real, for real. And so I just want to give a shout out to everybody that has supported me, that has allowed me to impart my wisdom and knowledge and understanding to you guys. This is a journey, and I wanted to, me and Dewan, man, we talk almost daily, and it had been a minute since we rapped, and I wanted to talk about life. This something I asked, you know, him to help me with, because what you guys see is two men that got into IT for various reasons, but have allowed IT to get inside of us. Pause. There was a question asked earlier by, I think it was Wendell, and he had asked, what's the difference between working in IT and being in IT? And I don't want to just start jumping right into that, but, you know, it's kind of a good lead in. There is a huge difference between working in IT and being in IT. But I think where I sit today, 25 years into IT, going into my 26th year, I think that that's not the most effective question of what's the difference between working in IT and being in IT. And I say that because all of us have jobs, and our jobs is just what we do. Sometimes you love what you do, and sometimes you don't, but it doesn't define who you are. When you dig deeper and life really hits you in the face, what are they going to say? Are they going to say Antonio was an amazing, or is an amazing network consultant and CCIE? Or are they going to say, you know, Antonio was a real down to earth, or is a real down to earth brother? He was somebody I could call just to talk to. You know, when I needed encouragement, he was there. When I needed help, he was there. You know, are they going to say that? Are they going to say he's an amazing father? You know, they're going to, even the people that I work with will probably not say Man, that Antonio sure do know how to do some consulting and and make some networks pop. So for me, when I look at that question, it is I have a perspective now that's a little different, and that perspective is uh don't let your quest into IT define who you are, because you're so much more than that. You are an actual living, breathing, valuable human being.
True story. True story. True story. Hey,
So,
okay, so you have you got a huge announcement that you want to make. I brought everybody and hoping that everyone would come on the live stream so we can talk about what's going on with you specifically as a man.
okay.
You want to start there? Or you want to start with questions?
Uh, I'll start there, and then I'm sure that we're going to get questions about both. But I got to tell you, boy, this is funny. Ricardo just said, "I'm not crying, you're crying." Ricardo, that is hilarious. The big announcement. Y'all ready? Drum roll. I'm retiring from IT.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
I'm hanging
Time
it
out.
up.
Time out, bro. That's not the big announcement. That's
That's
a
not the big announcement. Hey man, you were supposed to let me rock with that for a minute, man.
My bad. My bad. I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock.
All right, seriously. All right. I need y'all to bear with me for a moment. This is not easy.
Take your time, bro.
Yeah. I have lived my life in such a way that I don't live around family, and I haven't lived around family in 25 years. I have been raising two of my four daughters by myself for the past 6 years. Uh, I've been alone for quite some time. And that's important because that's important for you guys to know. Because um when you when you're thinking about IT, and I keep thinking about the question, the difference between being in IT and working in IT, it brings a lot of stress into your life. Uh, I used to work in a knock, and there was countless of hours I didn't sleep. Uh, Being an African American in a field where I was literally told at times I wasn't good enough, I've had to go above and beyond. Now, why am I telling you guys this? What's the big announcement? All of this matters. January of 2019, I started having chest pains. Uh, Occasional, what felt like little lightning bolts, uh, would shoot through my chest. I didn't think nothing of it other than, oh shit, that hurt. Uh, but it wasn't often enough to really make me be concerned. But it wasn't until one day I'm laying in bed and I'm on the phone and it happens, and I was like, because it was really just that sharp. And the person I'm on the phone with has dealt with heart issues, and they were very startled and said, please get that checked. That's the last thing I heard from my brother before he had a heart attack and died. So I was like, okay, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm good. Uh, at the time, I worked out every day for an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. I eat relatively healthy. I drink a lot of water. Uh, I don't smoke. Um, I do drink, but that's an occasional thing. I don't drink every day. I mean, it's okay. Matter of fact, I think I've had probably one drink. No, that's a lie. Probably about 4 drinks this year. Uh, so I do go to the ER because it started happening, though that lightning bolt started happening for 7 days straight. So I go to the ER and tell them what's happening. They hook me up to an EKG. EKG is normal. They check my blood to see if I had a heart attack. My blood panel is normal. So, I push to see a cardiologist. I go meet with a cardiologist the next week, and the cardiologist is like, dude, it's not your heart. You're young, you don't smoke, you barely drink, you don't live a reckless lifestyle, yada yada yada. I can see that you work out, you're muscular, you're built, it's musculoskeletal. But I'm like, nah, son, I need, it's the heart. I need to go get, I need a stress test. So we schedule a stress test and a ultrasound. They did a what's that thing called? X-ray. But I said, no. I need a ultrasound. So they did an ultrasound of my heart. Everything looked good. Did a stress test. I lasted like 15 minutes on the treadmill before, they was able to get my heart rate up to 151. Now, for me, that was good, but then it was odd that it took so long going at a 10 to 12 incline to get my heart rate up. But, hey, I'm not a doctor. I let it go. The doctor says there's nothing wrong. All right. All of you that have been following or supporting me know that I'm in school, and one of my biggest nemesis is calculus. So I'm preparing for a calculus exam last month when I stressed to the point. Now, let me back up. I'm stressing about calc. I'm stressing about work. I'm having to travel, and I have a new position at work. I have 7 people that now report to me. I still got my girls. One of them's getting ready for college. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to pay for this because I need her dream to be fulfilled, all this stuff. And if I don't pass that calculus exam, I don't pass the class. So I have a lot riding on this one Thursday night. And I started noticing I was having chest pains. But it was different than before. I was getting tightness in my chest. The right side of my chest was burning, and I was having trouble breathing. So I thought, it's stress related. After the test, I'm good. I'll have you to know I passed the exam. I got an 85. I had the 3rd highest score in the class. So, I had to pat myself on the back.
Salute, bro.
Appreciate that. And I was struggling. I remember telling Dewan that this is the first time in my life that I've ever given my complete and utter all in something and didn't succeed at it. You guys know I failed multiple CCIE exams, but every time I left that testing center that I failed, there was always something that I said, dang it, I didn't give my all. I knew I could have done this. I could have done that. In October of 2015, when I thought I passed, I was like, oh, I know that I am in presence got me, and I should have took more time with that. Well, with calculus, I gave it my all. Like I literally left it all on the table, and I was still failing. And for me, a person that has never failed, when I've given my all, that was mentally a challenge. And I'm explaining to Dewan, like, yo, bro, like this is different for me. Like, I don't even know what to do with this. So I passed that test, and I'm like, I'm good, but something happened. I would go to the gym, and the moment I would exert any type of energy, it would hurt. Like I would get the symptoms worse. Yeah, Zach and CLI Soldier, calculus is evil. When I get my hands on Isaac P. Newton, I'm gonna whoop his ass. Anyway. And I'm trying to bring a little levity to the situation because this is a serious situation. I went for a walk one night, and I was on the phone with one of my brothers, and He says, bro, you don't sound good. And I was like, nah, man, I'm out for a walk. He said, no, dogs, you like something's wrong. You don't sound good at all. Stop walking. But me being a Marine, I'm like, nah, adapt and overcome. Pain is weakness leaving the body. But in my mind, I was like, I couldn't go any further. And I was contemplating how I was going to get home. I had two choices. I could either call an ambulance or I could call my daughter to come pick me up. But then I realized that the car keys was in my pocket, so she couldn't come and pick me up. So I got home having to crawl a little bit, having to barely walk. I got home, and that next morning I called my primary care physician. It was a Wednesday. I think that was April 3rd. They had an appointment available for me for April 5th, Friday. I go to my primary care physician. I explain to them the chest pains that I'm having. They do an EKG. The EKG is abnormal. So they send it to the cardiologist that I saw before. The cardiologist says, without looking at the EKG, it's not his chest. It's not his heart. He's musculoskeletal. So me and my doctor are contemplating, and they're like, well, maybe it's asthma, because, you know, some of the symptoms would, you know, I thought, you know, that could be legit. But then again, I'm 42. How the fuck is it asthma if I've never had asthma? So I asked my doctor that, like, do people in their 40s normally just wake up one day and have asthma? And she was like, no. But I was going to roll with it. I leave to go get an asthma pump that they prescribed for me when I get a call from the doctor saying, hey, the cardiologist called back and said, you need to go to the ER immediately, and he'll meet you there. So I thought that was a little strange. I wasn't. Good night, baby. I love you. All right.
Good night, mama.
I wasn't prepared to. I didn't understand, but I didn't ask no questions yet. So I get to the ER, and I tell them people that, hey, my cardiologist, I have been having chest pains, did the EKG. The cardiologist told me he'd meet me here at the ER. So they get me back immediately. That night, they're like, we got to keep you overnight for observations. All right, cool, whatever. They keep me, they run all these types of tests, but the next morning, the next day, April the 6th, I try to do a stress test. I lasted barely 3 minutes. It was, I was on the verge of passing out. My chest had gotten super tight. It was burning. I couldn't breathe. I was becoming disoriented. And they immediately stopped the test and said that we're going to have to do a heart catheterization on you. So mentally, I was not prepared for that. I did not want that, did not need that. And I was asking, is there another way? We have to be able to, you guys have to be able to figure out what's going on without doing that, because they would have to either stick a catheter through my wrist, through the artery in my wrist, and go to my heart, or go through my groin. And well, I for certain didn't want nobody sticking anything by my groin. And so they opted for the wrist. It was discovered that I was born with a heart defect, and that for the past 42 years of my life, I have really been a gift from God, actually. I have what's called anomalous coronary artery, and that is where one of your coronary arteries originates in an anomalous place. My right coronary artery actually originates behind my heart, on the left side of my heart, and it goes up, down, and around my heart, and in between two blood vessels, not blood vessels, heart valves. and it's 100% blocked. I met with, well, I was told that day after the heart catheterization, I asked the doctor before he could say anything. I said, "Doc, tell me, am I crazy? Is something really wrong with me, or what?" And he says, "Well, Mr. McCarver, I can tell you, you're not crazy. You are 100% correct. Something is wrong. The bad news is we can't fix it." So I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What you mean, Playboy?" So he goes on to describe to me the physical condition of my heart, which I've just explained to you guys, and he says this is something that you was born with. This isn't something that you did wrong. You were born this way. The blockage, we don't know what caused that, especially, man, that my other arteries are good. Like, there's no cholesterol or plaque buildup in those arteries. So I asked what my options are. I asked them, can they stent it? And they said, well, that's the thing. We can't put a stent in it because your artery is just, and that's when they gave me that long ass word, the anomalous coronary artery. It's an anomalous coronary artery, and we can't get to it. The only option you have is single bypass open heart surgery. So my initial reaction, of course, was, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. The thought of being a 42-year-old man with a family and having open heart surgery just didn't sit. I just couldn't rock with that. But as we talked about anomalous coronary artery, forget the blockage. ACA, typically that leads to sudden cardiac death. Think about Hank Gathers and Reggie Lewis and Len Bias, just to name a few. Football player recently last year just dropped dead like that. Anomalous coronary artery, these heart defects that you can't detect via topical imaging. You can't detect it via ultrasound. You can't detect it via an x-ray. You have to have a heart catheterization. I opted for surgery. The surgeon, the cardiologist, and the nurse practitioner all came into the room, and they said, well, I don't know if you believe in God, but you've been given a gift, and you're a walking miracle, because we don't know how you've been able to serve 5 years in the United States Marine Corps, survive Marine Corps boot camp, rappel down buildings, spy rig under helicopters, play organized football, organized basketball, get into jiu-jitsu, get into street fights, shootouts, got jumped a couple of times, work in a very stressful, demanding job, and nothing happened. And then on top of that, one of your major arteries reaches 100% blockage, when typically somebody reaches 70% blockage, a heart attack is imminent. 100% blockage, yeah, that's unheard of. So on May the 8th, I go under the knife for a coronary artery bypass graft. That is May 8th, my bad, not May 9th. I'm still struggling with all of this. I finally did some research on what the procedure is, and I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm a certified G, but I'm in a battle. And I'm in a battle because IT is not who I am. IT is what I do. Who I am is a father that has to tell my children that I'm going to still be here. I'm a son that has a mother and father that are saying, my God, my son has to go through this. I am a brother. I'm a big brother to my siblings, and I'm a big brother to some of you guys. And I am a man that is scared. On the one hand, anybody that knows me for real knows that my faith level is ridiculous. But on the other hand, yeah, my chest is going to be cut open. They're going to slow my heartbeat down to 1 beat per minute and spend the next 4 or 5 hours trying to make sure that I am able to have a quality of life for my children that I hope that none of you take for granted. So when you ask questions like, what's the difference between being in IT and working in IT? The honest answer is it doesn't matter. Live a happy, healthy life. Now, I wanted to do this because you guys have given so much to me. And as Dewan and I talked, uh, we tried to figure out what's the best way to share when I've shared everything with you guys. All of my ups and downs in my IT journey, you guys know about. So here's what we're going to do going forward. You guys are going to see less of me on social media, but Dewan is in contact with me daily and with my family. He's one of a few people that will have access to any and every piece of information that's going to be needed. I'm going to ask a few things of you guys. Number one, please make your health a priority. I have struggled with the fact that I didn't do anything to cause this. I think I could have accepted it better if I was a smoker, if I was a severe drinker, if I was overweight, if I was sedentary and didn't exercise, and if I was just all around just eating buckets of Popeye's chicken and all of that. So when I say take care of yourself, that's funny because I was doing exactly that. And this is just something I was born with. When we get finished with this live, I want all of you to take a moment we're still in the month of April, and Dewan started something called Grateful April. I want you all to take a moment to literally write down on a piece of paper what you're grateful for. Everything from IT to everything. And then what I want you to do is to share that with your family that's in the house with you. And I want you to look at your family and I want you to shower your family with all of the unconditional love that you have within you. Then I want you guys to, as you're focusing on your career and advancing your career, I want you to remember what's most important. And that's not the networks you touch, but the lives that you touch. Not the networks that you fix, but the problems that you help other humans solve. And then I want you to take some time to stop and smell the roses, literally and proverbially. Let's make being thankful and grateful cool again. Let's appreciate each other. I appreciate you guys. And I know that I haven't been around lately to tell you that. So thank you for the opportunity to do that now. I appreciate every last one of you. I see all of the, you got this, I'm praying for you, head up. I see all of the comments and I appreciate that. What I personally need from you is your positive thoughts, your encouraging words. Send me some jokes. Laughter is medicine for the soul. And of course, I need your prayers. But here's the thing. I don't need your prayers for me. I need your prayers for my babies. Their names are Jasmine, Kiana, Nadeja, and Ariana. My girls are daddy's girls. Now, I have been adamant to them that I am a superhero and that fortunately I'm no different than Tony Stark, except for I don't have a couple of $1 billion right now, but I'm going to have a new heart. Well, really going to be the old heart, but it's going to work like it's new. And then I'm going to be okay. But if you've never seen fear in your children's eyes, I can promise you that's nothing you want to see. If you've never seen worry in your children's eyes, that's something you do not want to see. So while you're praying for me, pray for them. I know what it's like to lose your hero. Mine was taken from me, and I can't imagine that they're going to lose theirs. So I'm good. I have the best doctors that I could find. They do this surgery on the regular. But yeah, that's the big announcement. And honestly, Dewan, I am rethinking whether or not after the surgery, if IT is going to be, I don't know what I'm going to do next. My goal is to just make it through the surgery and make it through the recovery. And honestly, not down that fucking table. Just to put it blunt. And don't get it twisted. I have moments of when I may be I may deal with fear or anxiety. Trust me, all is well with me. So for those that are going after this live, that are going to be wondering how I'm doing, know that I'm okay. Dewan has access that I've literally shut down a lot of access to me because I need nothing but positivity right now. But Dewan has access to me, my mom, my family, and he's been so gracious enough to say, "Bro, don't worry about it. If people got questions, I'll handle that for you." All right, now that was a long, drawn out thing. What's happening? talk to your boy. Thoughts, questions about anything. It ain't even got to be about what I just told y'all. It can be about anything. But please just take the time to do those little simple things that I ask, and the reason why, because when doctors give you news that they gave me that's life changing, nothing else matters. But none of the networks that I fixed matter. Hell, my CCIE, as much as I love that plaque, that doesn't matter. It pales in comparison to the lives that I touched. Uh, there are some people on this live whose lives I've touched, and some who, I haven't. Uh, I hope to be around to change that, because this isn't about what we do. This is about who we are.
Hey man, hey bro, let me ask a question.
For sure.
You know, uh, being in IT, do you feel that you've used your gifts, like you're a CCIE, you've been in tech, you've talented at what you do, you're a leader within Cisco. Do you feel that in your 42 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your 42 years on this earth, you use your gifts?
That's an interesting question. It's a good question. In my job, no. In my job, I am a cog. I am truly a cog in a wheel. I solve problems. But if you take it down to the micro level, if I can stop a customer from losing money, then they may not lay off the next person whose family is depending on that person's income.
Mm.
So at a micro level, maybe. But it pales in comparison to the times that someone like my good friend Tiffany can text me or call me and say, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you pray for me, or can you give me some advice?" If that makes sense.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm all about labbing every day. I'm all about helping people get to where they want to be, but I'm always been more about the journey of life, because I came from a rough childhood, not just because of my environment, just because of the things I've seen and the things I dealt with. And when you grow up, like I grew up at times with nothing but baking soda and ketchup in the refrigerator.
Fact.
You know what I mean? Like
Fact.
walking miles just to get to where we got to go. Seeing people die, seeing, man, just seeing so many different things happen in life, going to war and being in a third world country and seeing people happy and full of joy just because you gave them some soap. Like, I'm passionate about what I do, but at the end of the day, when I meet God, I want him to say, "Well done." I want to, like, people talk about getting followers, people talk about getting this. Like, that's not what I'm in it for. Like, when at the end of the day, I'm about relationships one on one. When you meet me, the energy that I can pour into somebody, the way I can make somebody feel when I leave is what I'm about. I mean,
And that's what is that's the true key. That's the true gift. You and I had this conversation. My life was changed. Well, let me back up. Me and you grew up very, very, very similar, almost in the same place. Actually, if you think about the part of Ohio that you're from, is really no different than the part of Detroit that I'm from. And uh, I've seen people get murdered, like literally watched. stuff that you shouldn't see as teenagers. And I remember, it's funny, me and my mother were talking today, and today is my mother's birthday. And I had posted on Facebook this long message, and I told her I remember, when she worked at this toy factory, I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And she says, I didn't know that you remember all of that. And I was telling her today, I remember the nights where the only thing we had for dinner was one baked potato that we had to share and 2 ham hocks, and that was dinner. Or the times when we had, ketchup and mayonnaise sandwiches, which is why I love homemade burgers now with ketchup and mayo on the bread. But when I went to Nicaragua, I saw the meaning of life. I saw a family in a house that you could see through. The front door was open and the back door was open. I could see right through it. And this father was working in the yard, and this little girl was running around playing, and the mom was on the porch cutting the son's hair, and the grandma was in the house cooking. You could see all of this, and every last one of those humans had the biggest smile on their face, and they were just thankful that for anything that we did. And when it comes to the things that we have, they had, if you're going to compare, they had no things compared to what we have, but they had the thing that we all supposed to have, and that is unconditional uh, love.
Man. It's, hey man, when you mentioned about you failing your CCIE 3 times and everything you've been through, somebody mentioned to me about, and when I failed my MPDSI, and I was like, it didn't really bother me that I failed. What I cared more about was the fact that I was learning and not giving up, like wasting energy on worrying about failing on something that actually is minuscule to the grand scheme of life. Because if you are learning, then you're progressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And with you right now, what you're going through, I'm sure like nothing matters but the people around you and what you want to do. So once you make it through this, what is your perspective going to be like when it comes to certifications, work? And you probably don't even know your perspective, but if you were to take a glimpse into your perspective, what you think it's going to be like?
another great and very introspective question, because I've done a lot of thinking about life. And once I make it through this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry a very beautiful, loving, kind, smart, intelligent, go-getting woman. I'm going to do everything I can to get my daughter that's going off to North Carolina A&T State University in the fall, get her moved in and taken care of as best as possible. I am going to focus on a nonprofit that I've been trying to start called Capo Cares. What you guys don't know is last month, uh, I was laying in my bed, and this is before I found out anything about my heart. I was laying in my bed and I looked at my Xbox One X that I barely play. And I heard the voice of God say, give one away. So I was going to find a child that was income deprived. And then a scripture from the Bible came to my mind, and it was Isaiah 53:5, which is funny that that scripture I need it for myself right now. which is, he was wounded for our transgressions and bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace is upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So I said, oh, you want me to find the sick kid? Not knowing that I was the sick kid, but, you know, I ended up calling UNC hospitals. Nope. I called Duke Children's Hospital first. And I was treated very rudely and hung up on. So I called Wake Children's Hospital, which is the up the street from where I live, and they was all for me getting a game system and giving it to them, but they wanted me to donate it to the unit, and I knew that I needed to give it to a child that was in need. So I put something out on Facebook and asking for help in finding a child that's battling sickness that wants a video game system. When I did that, I got a bunch of friends saying, "Hey, that's a dope idea. I want to help immediately." Long story short, I found a young lady that makes wigs for children that are sick. And she says, "Hey, I have this 8 year," she was 8 at the time. "I have this 8-year-old little girl that is battling leukemia. She's been in the hospital for over a month. She can't leave her room because her cell count is at 0. Uh, if she gets an infection, it could kill her." Da 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 da. And I was like, perfect, her. Once I met the little girl, I fell in love. Her name is Sinai, and I started calling her my bonus niece. And me and my friends raised about $1,200 or $1,300. I went and bought a PS4. Well, first I went and asked her, "Hey, if you could have any video game system in the world, what would you want?" She said a PlayStation 4. And I said, "Well, just tell me some of the games that you like." And she named 4 games: Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, WWE wrestling, and I can't remember the 4th one. But in any case, Fortnite. I said, "Okay, we'll make sure that you get, one of those games." That's before I raised $1. And I knew that the whatever I would get, whoever gave the biggest donation, I was personally going to match the biggest donation. The biggest donation I got was $250, so I matched $250, and then everybody else started giving, what they could. Ultimately, I think we took up almost $1,300, and with that, I went and got the PS4, an extra controller, all 4 games. I went to Build a Bear. I built her a bear because her mother lives an hour and a half away from the hospital one way, and she has other kids and couldn't be at the hospital all day and all night because she got kids to take care of. And the little girl has to FaceTime with her mom. So I didn't want her to be alone. So I got her a bear. I built her a bear from Build a Bear in her favorite color, which is purple, and got the bear some clothes. We was left with all of that. We was left with about $600, $500 or $600, and I gave all of that to the mother for gas money, food, and whatever else she needed. And I posted something on Facebook that said, I stole a line from Tupac when Tupac said, and keep your head up, "Tupac cares if don't nobody else care." I changed it and said, "Capo cares if don't nobody else care," because I do. Everybody that knows me knows I love the kids, and I have a hatred for sickness. So that became the birth of Capo Cares, because I can do more with the nonprofit. People will be way more willing to help. Uh, I can do more with the nonprofit for more people than I can for myself. So I took a long way to answer your question, Dewan. So as what it looks like for me going forward is I'm going to go to work every day. My job has been, and my team at work has been so supportive of this process for me. CISCO really cares about their employees. I'm going to continue to work because I have to work. Now I have a pre-existing condition. So you got to think about that when it comes to healthcare and things of that nature. I'm not going anywhere. But I am going to focus on building Capo Cares and uh, bring into the organization 100 million so that I can help change a whole lot of kids' lives. Uh, the little girl has now been released from the hospital. Her cell count shot through the roof. She's at home doing good and being now a 9-year-old little girl that can, that has a bright future ahead of her. And I need to go do everything I can for 1,000 more like her.
Man, that's dope, bro. That's dope, man. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I needed this live stream for myself, to be honest with you, to keep it all the way 100. Like, you know me, and with everything that's going on in my life, I get stressed out too, just like anybody else. You know what I mean? But a lot of times that stress is just all up here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all up here, and when you really have to face something that affects your livelihood or someone you love's livelihood, it's, I don't know, man. It's nothing else matters. You know what I mean? Like
No,
nothing.
nothing else matters, bro. Nothing else matters, man. And this is what my day looks like every day now. A regiment of pills when it used to be just vitamins. And when you put it in perspective, let me tell you what a day in the life of Antonio is like now. I cannot lift anything that's heavier than a gallon of milk. Uh, Walking up and down the stairs is something I just can't really do. I have to walk extremely slow. On a norm, just without knowing any of this, my heart rate tinkered around the 50s, which, the doctors didn't appreciate and didn't like. Uh, that's just way too low, but I can't have my heart rate go up past, and I get into the 90s and that's trouble. Um, I have to be mindful of the things I watch. I was watching Tiger Woods win the Masters and just got excited because, my favorite golfer is getting ready to two putt to win the Masters, and I get excited and I almost, you know, pass out. Uh, so I have to be I have to be mindful of stuff like that. I can't, I can't I can't be me right now.
Yeah,
So imagine that, like when you're really thinking about life, imagine if you couldn't be you. That's um that's interesting. So that gives me nothing but time on my hands to think about life. And going forward, I'm truly going to focus on what's important. Getting a CCIE is important for those that value the CCIE, and I value the CCIE. I am very proud to have my CCIE number. Again, it is what I do and not who I am. I'm at a stage now. I'm 42. A lot of you guys are much younger than I am. Um, now what I want more than anything is I want to. I'm going to see my daughter graduate from the community college on May 4th, which is also her birthday, and I'm going to be recovered to the point on May 22nd to watch her graduate from high school. That's important to me. It's important that I make my way to Kansas City, Missouri to bring a gift for Dewan and the family and all of the great things that they're experiencing right now. It's important that I go see my grandmother uh, in Detroit. It's important that me and my lady take a much needed trip and vacation. It's important that, you know, I take my girls on a vacation. I had to back out of our family cruise that's happening in at the end of June. I can't travel right now, and they don't want me traveling until I'm 100% recovered. Um, so my life has changed dramatically. I literally have to rely on other people for everything, and I'm so blessed and so thankful. My mother came and spent the week with me. My girl was here. My dad is going to be here until after the surgery. So it's, I'm blessed and I'm grateful. And what matters to me now is going forward. I'll help anybody that needs the help to get the certifications, because the certifications did change my life financially. But honestly, Dewan, the certifications also created way more stress than what my body needed, especially somebody that's operating with half a heart. So when I think about what am I going to do going forward, uh, I don't know. I'm gonna focus on my nonprofit. I'm gonna focus on helping other people achieve their IT goals, and I'm gonna focus on living every day, understanding that uh, I have been given a gift, and that I am a walking miracle, and that there's a bigger picture that God has for me. And this is the reason why I'm not, although I fight the natural feeling of the fear, but here's why I'm not worried. It doesn't make sense that I will be born with this condition, reach 100% blockage, not have the full use of my heart, serve my country honorably and faithfully, do some of the wild, dumb, crazy shit I've done in life, and nothing happened to me just for it to happen now. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, so I'm gonna be here for a while. So now I just gotta focus on my mission, which is my mission has always been, like you, to help people. And that's where I'm going from here forward, helping people.
So, hey man, I want to say a couple things.
All right.
Happy birthday to your mama, bro.
Appreciate
We,
that.
we can't get up out of here without saying happy birthday to your mama. And
Appreciate that.
and second, man, congratulations to you and your lady on the engagement.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well.
Yes, sir. I'm happy for you, bro.
Thank
I'm
you.
very happy for you.
Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for accepting my invitation to be in the wedding. I appreciate that.
Hey man, I'm gonna be in there swagged out, bro.
For sure. 100.
All day. Like, what's good with it? Like,
Man,
popping. Like, we're
yeah.
gonna turn up. We're gonna turn up, man. But
Oh,
man, this has been uh, a live stream that like I said before, that I needed. Um, one of the things that I didn't think about on this journey, and I read it, I say it, but each level that you go through in life requires a different you.
mm-hmm.
And some of them levels you're not gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that different you is a precursor for the you that God is building you to be. And it can be painful.
Right.
And so when you say about the certifications added too much stress on your body and too much stress that you didn't need in your life, I don't know if it's the stress or if it's the fact that you're trying to force time to happen faster
Mm-hmm.
than time is supposed to happen. And I think when I add stress in my life on certifications, because I'm trying to control the outcome, I'm trying to force this information in my mind and force change in my life as fast as possible. Like, I want this certification, I want this raise, I want this new job, I want all this right now. Let me get this certification in 3 weeks. And how much sense did that make if you're in a career and this is what you want to do, which is called a career? It's called a career. It's a journey.
Right. That's true.
You know what I mean? There's so many different moving pieces to being, let's say, to make it, let's say 100,000, to making 100,000 in IT. Look, I don't know who's giving it away, but when they give it away for free, let me know and I'm gonna apply.
For sure. Man, that's a very, very, very deep and absolutely necessary perspective, bro. I can tell you this. I'm grateful for the stress that caused me to go to the doctor on April the 5th. Because now we know what happened. Now we know what I was born with and what needs to happen. Imagine just doing something simple like going to the amusement park with my daughters and not making it off of a roller coaster because I had no idea that something was wrong on the inside. So I'm thankful that the stress happened, right? And stress in this field certainly was self-imposed because if you really think about it, unless I've never been on a job that said you have to get this certification.
Right.
Never. So it was all what I wanted to do because I'm thinking about I want to achieve this and I want to achieve that and I want to make myself stand out from other people. Wonder how much of it was really me trying to play God though, meaning trust in my abilities versus in his ability to put me in the right place at the right time with the right team and the right everything to where I can get 100 grand without even have to put my body, my mind, or my family through the things that I did to become a CCIE. You know, let's not forget when I was going for my CCIE, I ended up losing my wife. I ended up almost losing my house. Um, I was working 50, 60, at times 70 hours a week while also studying 40 hours a week. Uh, I can say that it was worth it because I'm still here. But look at the things, look at what I lost. You know what I mean? And like and please don't get it twisted. I wouldn't trade my life for anything in this world, not even with the challenges that I'm facing. I wouldn't trade the woman I'm about to marry for anybody else that I ever had in the past either. Like they were there for a reason and a season. So but yeah, some of it was self-inflicted. Right intentions, wrong execution.
Everything comes with a cost.
You know what that's called? Opportunity cost. And it is for those that haven't taken economics. An opportunity cost is what it costs to give up something for something else. Even now, like I'm in school, uh, driving up and down the road, going from here to Greensboro twice a week. That's a 90-mile drive one way, twice a week. What am I giving up to do that? That's called an opportunity cost. Uh, for those of you on this journey, always count the cost and ask yourself what's really important and focus on what's really important. My grandfather, before he passed away, he said, grandson, he said, I look at life like a track. He said, number one, always choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. So always choose to be happy. Number two, you only get to go around this track called life one time. Make the most of it. Don't wait until you're in your 70s and sick like I am and say, I wish I would have or I wish I could have. He said that not one time have I felt like, oh, I wish I, because he was in a big advertising executive. He says, grandson, not one time do I wish I would have gotten this account or gotten that account that got away, or if I could have kept the Chrysler account, this, that, and the third. He says, I wish I would have taught you how to golf. I wish you and I would have played golf more together. I wish I could have done this. Everything he said he wished he could have had nothing to do with money. It had nothing to do with work. had nothing to do with job or career, had everything to do with the number one thing in this world, and that's family.
Hey man, you know I'm praying for you, bro.
Appreciate it. I know. I know this sounds so somber, and people are not used to this. They are not used to this from us.
Yeah, I ain't even worried about that.
What are you thinking? You got something on your mind?
I got a lot on my mind, man. I stay thinking. I'm just, I just look at life, man. Just, you know, my my family, my kids, being a black man, representing my family, representing the culture, and like I just pray every day that I'm using my abilities to the fullest to leave everything I need to leave in my kids the right way. You know what I mean? To help them have all the tools they need when I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
To know that whenever I create something, I'm helping somebody that look just like me and whoever else, but specifically somebody that came from the struggle that I went through painfully to help them have a way or a roadmap to make it out, or not even a roadmap, just encourage to say, look, he looked just like me. I know I could do it. You know what I mean? Just making sure that everything that I do, that I'm doing it the right way. Like I pray every day, man, that I'm not being selfish, that I'm putting God first, that I'm intentionally letting the people know that I love them, and giving them time and not focusing on my own goals, because at the end of the day, none of that even matters.
None of it matters at the end of the day. You know, this past weekend, me and Shorty went down to Myrtle Beach to visit her grandparents. And one of her cousins flew in from Jersey. That's more like a sister to her, with her two boys. And we chilled, watching basketball. The women was in the kitchen talking, laughing, cooking. And then we had on Saturday this real big meal at a table that was full of love. And not one time did any of us think about things. The grandfather, Mr. Page, he was talking about the good old days. Got to talking to him about when he met Mrs. Page, and you know they've been married almost 60 years. They've been married 57 years, and we talked about life and family. We didn't talk about what I do for a living. We didn't talk about what Shorty does for a living. We didn't talk about money. We talked about, man, it feels good to spend time with family. So I do understand the struggle that some are probably thinking right now, but we gotta work, we gotta live, we gotta eat. You do, but at what cost? Zach, if you're still on, appreciate you being on. I see that you gotta go. At what cost? The certs are good, the jobs are good. IT has provided me with so much. I have been able to travel the world. I have been able to take care of my family. I've been able to do things that I want to do. I've been able to drive nice cars, live in a nice house. I've been able to have a pocket full of money. That's cool. But you know what I think about every day now, Dewan?
What you think about, bro?
I think about the people I love. I think about I can't wait for me and Dewan to go to a cigar room and have a cigar and drink some bourbon. I think about I can't wait to see my daughters grow up. I can't wait to find out if I'm gonna have a son one day. I think about, man, I can't wait to see my mother. I can't wait to see my dad. I can't wait to see my aunt. I think about uh, the next little girl or next little boy that I can help who's battling some type of sickness, and then when they don't have when their family can't think about a video game system because they got to figure out how the hell they're going to pay for medicine. I think about how I'm going to be able to help just one more child and then just one more child after that.
Yeah.
That's what I
I'm,
think about these days.
hold on, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, can you bring that diaper cake? Yo, my bad, bro.
You man, listen, that's right there is what I'm talking about. It's about family, bro.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at my wife, man. You know, our baby shower is this weekend, and
Nice.
and my mom made this diaper cake, man. I'm gonna show it to you real quick. My mom got skills, boy. I'm gonna show you this.
Man, do you know how much I love cake and I can't have no cake
It
right
ain't
now?
even cake though. It's like really creative. Thanks, babe. It ain't even cake. Check it out.
Oh, that's dope.
It's made out of like diapers and stuff. Like,
Oh, that's I've seen that on my shorty posted something like that on something like that on Pinterest.
yeah, she made it, boy. I was like, Mama, you got some skills. You go
That's
over
cute.
there. Yeah. She made it and sent it to us.
That is dope.
Yeah, like, mom got some skills, boy.
Yeah,
Like, man, stuff like that, bro. It's like, man. My family know they long as I'm alive and I pray when I'm gone, they always gonna be good.
right.
Like that's why I do this. You know what I mean? To make sure they good and I don't know, bro. But hey, I'm gonna spend some time with the wife before she go to bed, man.
Do that. I'm gonna answer this question real quick from Ricardo. Ricardo, I'm working on an entrepreneurship and innovation degree from the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
Hey, this has been a real one, man. You got my support. I'm here for you, bro. And
appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you to everyone that tuned in to the chat, that sat through this, that sent the encouragement to my boy. We need them prayers. He need the prayers, his family, his daughters. And I'm gonna let you take it from here, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you taking the time to do this. As always, you've been a blessing and an inspiration. I love you. Uh, I love this community that you built and that you started and that you have given so much to. Thank you for everything. Everyone out here that's watching and supporting and has been on the chat. Thank you guys for your encouragement. Thank you for your prayers. Uh, Thank you for everything. Um, Surgery is in less than 2 weeks. Uh, it's going to be a long road, but honestly, there's nobody built for it better than me. You know what I mean? Like I'm the best person for the job. And real quick, I had a moment one day where I was like, Lord, let this cup pass from me. And I heard his voice so clearly say, would you rather I give it to your daughters? And that was something. I said, no, never. And then it humbled me even more to the point where I said, well, God, honestly, I don't want you to give this to anybody else. So I'll take this, I'll eat this one so that nobody else has to. Now I know that this is going to happen to other people. Uh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, thank you.
No doubt, man.
And y'all pray for me. I'm going to pray for y'all. And we're going to win together.
Love you too, bro.
For
Peace.
sure. Peace.